I'm Bear, and this is Babu.
And today we're going to show you how to make a bourbon whipped banoffee pie.
Oh, it's going to be delicious. And of course, as always, don't worry about the ingredients. We're going to list them all below with any tips and tricks.
And if you like what you see and you'd like to support us, don't forget, click that subscribe button below.
All right, let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with some melting of the butter.
And we want to cut it into smaller pieces because it's just going to melt that much quicker for us.
Yeah, this is a chef trick. We love these little flour cutting pastry. So what you do is you take your butter and you cut it down in the middle, and that creates half of the butter, and then you cut it again. So now we have quarter. It's a little bit sticky, but that's okay. And then we're going to make little tiny boxes, little squares.
And you're just creating more surface area for the butter to hit so that it melts a little bit faster for you.
Here you go, my dear.
Thank you.
So this is one stick of butter, and you can see because we have more surface area, it's starting to melt much quicker. So we're going to try to get every little piece of butter on this pot.
Now I used unsalted butter so that we have more control of how much salt is in our dessert.
Yeah, sometimes there's too much salt, and if the butter has all the salt in it, you really can't take it out.
Can't do anything with it.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the butter, as always, to melt the butter. Once this butter gets to be about 110 degrees, we use the butter to keep all the fats together. We don't want to burn the fats away. So we're just going to melt this down.
Do you remember the first time and where we were when we had Banoffee Pie?
Oh my gosh, that is what comes to my mind is Ireland.
Yes.
Yes, we went to visit Ireland to a couple of friends, and they provided us the Banoffee Pie, which now we so love. Now look at the way this butter is melted here. This is perfect. I'm going to turn off the heat so we can do the next step.
And the next step is going to be crushing our crackers. Now, we love digestive biscuits with our banoffee. It's more traditional. You can use graham crackers if you like, but we're going to take these and put them in a Ziploc bag, and we're going to start using a rolling pin and crush them to tiny little crumbs.
Nice. And that's my favorite part because I love to do the crushing. I love to do the throwing. I just love all of that.
I can get this open. I love eating these by themselves or with a cup of coffee. They're so good.
They are. The digestive biscuits, usually in your supermarket, if you have them in the international, these are usually from, the international section. These are from Europe. So they're just not usually in the everyday aisle, but they sure are delicious if you can find them.
Start with a half package and crush, and then we'll go from there. Do you want to crush them?
Let me do some crushing.
And let's see how much we have, and then we can decide.
I
satisfaction crunch.
There is a satisfaction to
Yeah.
this, I have to be honest. But you do need a little bit of muscle work. So here we're going to continue chopping this up, and we're just going to make it kind of like powdery.
Yes, it's going to be very tiny, fine crumbs, kind of like breadcrumbs. I'll keep stirring this, even since it's hot a little bit. We want to keep our butter nice and melted.
Oh, look at this. This is getting to be pretty good. Let me give it one more to get rid of any of the big chunks, because we don't want any big chunks in this. There we go. This is the makings of a beautiful Banoffee pie. All right, now what?
Now we are going to put this all in a mixing bowl. Can you hand me the mixing bowl, please?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. We're going to put these in the mixing bowl. And this is where we're going to add our butter to these.
Lovely.
I don't know if we're going to need all the butter, so we'll just do a slow drizzle and stir as we go.
I love melted butter. So delicious. All right, so you can have that, and I will pour about half for now.
Yes, that sounds great.
So that's about half.
We're going to mix it. We want it to not be liquidy. We just want it to absorb and be soft, because we're going to take this and press it into the bottom of our pie plate to form the crust. So this is still dry a little bit, so we're going to add a little bit more butter to that if you can, please, Bear.
Got you right here. How's that?
That looks pretty good.
Awesome.
Let's keep mixing.
And what are we looking for in consistency?
We're going to look, you're going to start seeing some bigger lumps, but we want it to look wet without it being liquid in the bottom. So we want all of the digestive biscuits to absorb the butter.
That yummy butter.
Right. So when I press here, it should stay together, and it's not quite, it's still pretty crumbly. So we're going to add more butter. Thank you. See how they're sticking now? So we know that this is going to do a nice press into the bottom of our pie crust. So we have enough.
Oh my gosh, it's looking so good. I love the way it's sticking to the sides.
Yeah, that's going to make a nice crust.
Perfect. So now, I think we have to add a little bit of salt because we didn't use salted butter.
Right. So we're going to add a little bit to taste because we all like a little salt.
Yeah, salt is an enhancer ingredient in every recipe, even in ice cream. Salt is used in ice cream. It's used in everything. It brings a nice dimension of flavor.
So I've got all that stirred, so we're going to pour it and press.
So I will hold this for you.
Thank you.
Let's get all that in there.
This is going to be delicious.
It is going to be so delicious.
I'm going to start in the center and work my way out and up the sides. So you can make your pie crust as thin or as thick as you would like. It just depends on what your preference is. I like the crunch and the texture of these digestive biscuits. So my pie crust is going to be just a little bit thicker.
I like the crunch too. I love giving a dimension to the foods that we eat.
You have the toffee, which is chewy, and the creaminess of the bananas.
Oh, it's filling beautifully in this bowl. That's an easy way to make a pie crust.
I like using this type of pie crust for key lime pies.
Ooh, I like that. Could be one of
That's
the
one
next
of the
ones
next
that
ones.
we will do.
We do like a
you
big
just,
key
you
lime
just
pie.
made me think key lime.
I grew up down in the Keys, and we would go to a restaurant I remember as my family, and they would make the best key lime pie.
That's because they had probably the best ingredients.
Yeah, it's hard to find key lime sometimes.
It is, it is. If you're lucky enough to have key limes, grab them because you make the most delicious key lime pie.
from 'em. Okay, I've got this all packed down in here. I've got my nice crust going on the sides.
Let's see if we can get a beautiful look at that. All right. Next step.
Next step is we're going to add this delicious caramel that we boiled.
Woo! So again, as I'll repeat as she's doing the layer, the condensed milk that we had in these cans, we simply boil them for approximately 3 hours. And the trick of this is simply make sure you're on a simmer, which is about 180 to 200 degrees, and make sure the cans are covered with water completely. Do not let them get out of the water. So during the 3 hours, the only thing you have to do physically is maybe add some additional water just to keep that going and keep it covered.
And you don't want to cover your pan with a lid or anything either. It creates a pressure in there. We don't want to do that with unopened cans. So this is going to spread. I smell that. Do you smell that?
I mean,
love caramel.
How could you not enjoy a caramel base? It's going to be so delicious. It is a little hard to work around, but just take your time and a little patience here. You want to try to get it to be an even thickness around, so every piece is going to be about the same in consistency.
Ooh, this is nice and thick.
That is nice and thick. Oh, it's looking fantastic. And that smell, I love cooking because of the smells in the kitchen.
I think it's that butter with the toffee combination that's doing it for me.
It is.
All right, this looks pretty even here now.
So this is kind of what you're looking for. That's a nice, even caramel toffee.
and you have to resist licking the spatula.
Well, you don't have to resist.
I don't have to resist. I can do it now.
Well, you're really not supposed to lick the spatula, but it is some joy there. It's pretty good. All right, so now we're gonna have to go on a quick break. This has to now go in the refrigerator. Do we cover it?
We can cover it with some saran wrap.
So we'll saran wrap it. We're gonna put it in the refrigerator for
3 to 4 hours. It needs to be firm to your touch before you put the bananas on the top.
before the next step. So now we're gonna saran wrap this.
Yes, you want to make sure when you put the saran wrap on that it doesn't hit the top of the toffee because it's just going to stick to it. But we want to make sure a film doesn't get on here or anything in this that'll prevent that from happening.
Oh, how come saran wrap's just not an inch bigger?
I never make it fit wide enough for what you're doing.
It just makes it too, but it should just give you like a little inch more. That inch would be so much nicer. Let me tell you. All right, we're gonna get this into the refrigerator. We will be back shortly. Remember, elapsed time about 2 to 4 hours. Firm to the touch. See you soon. We are back, and it's been 3+ hours. Our Banoffee pie has set up, hopefully, wonderfully. Let's take that off. I'm gonna start cutting bananas because ultimately, we're gonna start putting the bananas on top.
And I am going to peel this off and let's check this. I'm going to just check the firmness. Oh yeah, it's a little bit tacky, but there's a nice firmness in there. We're going to slice the bananas how you like them. If you like them thin, thick, however you'd like them, we're going to do that. And then the last layer that we're going to do on top is a delicious bourbon infused whipped cream that's going to go on it. So as soon as he's finished chopping here, we can start laying these out. And you're just gonna do like a single layer. You don't wanna have too many bananas here because we gotta have room for our whipped topping. These bananas are so nice, I can smell them.
They do smell really good as I cut these, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I did have to. And the trick, if you peel bananas this way, don't do it. Do it the way the monkeys do it. This side. You just grab and pull, and the whole banana is exposed so easily. Using that other way is just a tough way to do it. Little trick.
So watch the animals and see what they do.
You know, and the animals really do know. So we should watch them a lot of the times, to be honest with you.
This is coming out so good. Yeah, I think you'll have a few more slices you can have actually.
Oh, we didn't hardly need much. That's all right
Yeah,
though.
we did. We just keep putting it on. Is that good? Are you enjoying it like the monkeys?
Oh yeah. It's very good banana.
I'll sneak a few more little pieces here and there just to use up my banana.
Incoming! Well, we gotta throw something.
I know, I knew you were waiting for that moment.
I was. Paper towel for you, for me.
There we go. Here, I think you're gonna have to eat that one. Just won't quite fit.
My pleasure.
All right, so we have the bananas all layered on here, and there's just enough room at the top for that whipped cream.
Oh my gosh, we are gonna whip up some whipped cream, and then we're gonna start putting it on top to finish our wonderful dessert, so we can enjoy it by the fire.
And enjoy the fruits
of our labor. And this is going to be a good one, 100%. All right, let's get to it. And here is the bourbon infused whipped cream that's going to go on top of this lovely banoffee. We just quickly whipped up some whipped cream, and we're going to show you on another video how we do this. It's very, very simple. Don't buy store-bought whipped cream. It's unnecessary. This is the real deal.
We did this too because the toffee in here is going to be very sweet with the bananas. And the store-bought whipped cream has a lot of sugar in it. So it's just going to sugar up your dessert a lot. And it's going to take away a lot of the unique flavors that are in it. So this way we've put barely any sugar in it. So it's going to kind of counter and balance the pie out. Is that yummy? Not
to mention the bourbon infused vanilla. That's delicious.
That's the topping, right, on the cake.
That is the topping. So anyway, it's a topping on the banoffee. All right, I will hold this for you. Oh my gosh, you did a good whipping job too. That's a very nice consistency whipped cream. It really is perfect. Oh my gosh, why don't we put on top some shredded chocolate?
That's a great idea. I think it'll make it look even more beautiful than it already is.
Is this even possible? Could it look any more beautiful?
I think it's because we know what's underneath this layer of whipped cream that makes it look so yummy.
There is some goodness underneath that.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to get some chocolate here, and I have a lovely piece of chocolate that we can use for this test. Let's show it without chocolate.
All right, here it is. Oh, ta-da!
However, the beauty always comes when you shave some nice chocolate on it. Oh, look at this now.
Maybe you should shave a little chocolate on this.
I can shave a little chocolate on that for you. Do you want more shaved chocolate, or is that enough shaved chocolate?
I think that's good.
We could just stick this right in, right in our mouths, actually. All right, so now
perfect.
This is some Banoffee pie. I think, though, what I would do next time is maybe add some bananas on the top for decor. Maybe.
And if we hadn't eaten some of them.
Well, I was going to say, had I not enjoyed the treat, that might have been something to do, a little topping.
Definitely.
All right, let's go see how this looks inside. Now, the first piece might be trouble getting out.
It always is, it seems like, with pie. No matter what you do. I'm cutting us a big wedge since we're sharing.
Oh, it's looking good.
All right. Fingers crossed.
Fingers, toes, whatever you want to cross. It's all going in the same place, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, I got this for you. You can use your hands.
Oh, we lost a little bit.
Oh my gosh, perfect. Get that right on the plate.
Oh, this looks so good. Let's look.
This is a great success.
Look at that caramel and the bananas with that nice layer of whipped cream. That's going to be delicious.
That is. All right, it's time to put this by the fire. Hey, so we're back. We're by the fire, and we have to try and review our
bourbon infused.
Bourbon whipped.
Bourbon whipped.
Bourbon whipped Banoffee pie.
Pie.
Right here. And I say we get right on this.
Okay.
Because it's cold, we have that whipped cream. We just took it out of the fridge, so we have the setting of the Banoffee, which is a taffy and bananas. Let's get going. You take your first piece. How's the texture of that?
It cut right in, and there was a little crisp snap as you cut into the crust.
Oh, I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I think I have a good piece here. Now this is a messier dessert.
It is a messy pie.
But it is a good pie. Are you ready?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. It has everything. There's a crunch. There's a chewy factor to the toffee. There's a creaminess of the bananas, and then this bourbon infused whipped cream.
And that little shaved chocolate on top is just a delight.
It's just perfect with all the textures.
And I have to say, it was worth making our own whipped cream to control the sweetness, because, as we said, the inside of this by nature is very sugary and sweet. It's good though.
It's very caramely, and it's a really nice, rich flavor, but it is on the sweet side. So if you want to be able to taste the flavors and enjoy them without a really over sweet tooth, it's better to put very minimal sugar in your whipped cream.
And that gives a nice companion to this. Now, this is This reminds me back to Ireland.
It does, doesn't it?
Right back to Ireland.
That was one of our favorite places that we went, I think, was Ireland.
It was. If you haven't been, Ireland is a nice place to visit.
Wonderful.
So I would say for ease, this is one of the easiest desserts you could ever make for something so complicated. It has so many layers and textures, and yet it's really just putting some things together. Time-wise, you have to just understand it's 3 hours to boil this and 2 or 3 hours for it to rest, but that's not you doing anything.
No, you're not doing anything. You're just boiling a few cans, and then when they come out, pop them in the refrigerator and cool them down.
Sure. Or you could actually make your own toffee.
Right.
From scratch. We kind of cheated today for this. We went with the condensed milk version, which is a really good version, I might say. However, you could actually make your own toffee, which maybe we'll do one time.
Yeah, we'll show them how to make that. Would you do anything different than what we have right here?
I would probably have 2 plates.
Do you have to share?
Because, well, I don't mind sharing, but it's going really quickly.
I should have cut a bigger wedge. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I probably would have added a little bit more bourbon than what we added. What do you think? Can you taste the bourbon? There's a subtle hint.
There's a hint in the whipped cream of bourbon. Maybe next time soak the bananas in bourbon.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
I think that would probably enhance this 100-fold. Although I haven't tried it yet, I think that would be something to try if you're going to make this. Why don't you soak a banana in bourbon? That would be probably just another one of those layers of flavor. So anyway, I am glad you're with us, and we hope you enjoy our videos as always. If we're doing a good job, please support us by subscribing. It's not too hard to do. Just click that little button. Plus, every time we upload a new video, you'll get to see it. And that makes us happy, because we love sharing. This to us is sharing some good and joy, because this is delicious.
We love a good dish, and we love making it and spending the time together in the kitchen creating it.
Absolutely.
And then to sit and be able to enjoy it and share it with you is wonderful. And even comment below. If you try this recipe, comment. Let us know how yours came out, how much you enjoyed it. We'd love to hear from you.
Right. Thank you so much as always. And back to our Banoffee Pie.